The flickering fluorescent light of the underground garage cast long, dancing shadows, each one a phantom of the past. He moved through them like a ghost, a man stripped of his name, his country, and now, his future. Mikhail Boris, once a decorated field operative for the KGB, was now a phantom, a disavowed agent hunted by the very machine he had sworn to serve. But the ghosts chasing him tonight were not from the agency. They were far more personal. The image of his wife, Elena, her eyes wide with terror, and his daughter, Anya, clutching her teddy bear, were seared into his mind. They were the reason he was here, moving towards the heart of the beast. The phone call had come less than 12 hours ago, a distorted voice crackling through the line, a voice he recognized with a cold dread. Dmitry Volkov, a ruthless arms dealer whose network Mikhail had personally dismantled years ago. The message was brutally simple. Volkov had Elena and Anya. He didn't want money. He wanted something far more valuable, a small, unassuming file codenamed Chimera. It contained irrefutable proof of Volkov's illicit dealings with high-ranking officials within the Kremlin, a document Mikhail had secured and hidden away as insurance. Now, that insurance policy had become a death warrant for his family. A flashback rips through his concentration. The cozy warmth of their apartment, the smell of borscht simmering on the stove, laughter echoing in the hallway as he chased a giggling Anya. The sudden, splintering crash of the front door. Men in black tactical gear, their faces obscured by balaclavas, stormed in. He had fought, a primal rage fueling his movements, but they were too many. He saw Elena dragged away, a hand clamped over her mouth to stifle her screams. He saw Anya's small face, streaked with tears, as she was pulled from his grasp. The last thing he saw before a heavy blow sent him into darkness was the cold, dead eyes of Volkov's lieutenant, a man he'd put behind bars a decade ago. When he woke, the apartment was silent, empty. The only thing left was a single-burner phone on the kitchen table. Now, standing before the monolithic facade of the Lubyanka building, the KGB's infamous headquarters, he felt a chilling irony. He had to break into the one place no one was ever meant to escape from. The agency had disavowed him, branding him a traitor after a mission went south, a convenient scapegoat to cover their own tracks. They refused to negotiate with Volkov, deeming the Chimera file too critical to national security. They had written his family off as acceptable losses. But for Mikhail, there was no such thing. His target was the Ark, a subterranean vault he himself had helped design. It was his masterpiece of paranoia, a fortress of titanium, reinforced concrete, and state-of-the-art security systems. He knew its every strength, and more importantly, its every secret weakness. He slipped into a maintenance tunnel, the air thick with the smell of damp earth and ozone. The first obstacle was a laser grid, a crisscrossing web of crimson light that would incinerate anything it touched. He remembered the calibration sequence, the fractional second blind spot that occurred every 37 seconds during the system's self-diagnostic reset. Timing his breath, he moved like a dancer, his body contorting through the gaps in the deadly lattice, the heat of the beams searing the air inches from his skin. Deeper inside, the corridors were patrolled by Spetsnaz guards, the elite of the elite. He moved in the shadows, using the echoes of their footsteps to map their positions. He came upon a two-man patrol. Before they could even register his presence, he struck. A swift, precise chop to the first guard's throat, a disarming maneuver, and a sleeper hold on the second. He lowered them silently to the ground, their own comms units now his ears into the agency's chatter. The panicked voices confirmed they knew there was a breach. They didn't know it was him yet, but they were closing the net. His former mentor, Colonel Ivan Petrov, was directing the lockdown from the control room. Mikhail could hear his calm, collected voice over the comms, a voice that had once guided him through countless missions. Now, it was directing his hunters. Seal all sectors, level Gamma and above. I want thermal and seismic sweeps on all sublevels. The target is proficient. Do not underestimate him. Shoot on sight. The words were a cold blade twisting in his gut. To them, he was no longer Mikhail Boris, a man with a family. He was just the target. He reached the primary vault door, a 30-ton slab of steel and composite alloy, locked by a biometric scanner tied to the agency's 5 highest-ranking directors. There was no way to bypass it directly. But Mikhail had designed a flaw, a maintenance override hidden behind a ventilation panel. It was a failsafe only he and the chief engineer knew about, a backdoor in case of a catastrophic system failure. As his fingers worked to rewire the control panel, a burst of static on the comms made his blood run cold. Thermal signature detected in ventilation shaft 7B. All units converge. I repeat, all units converge. They were coming. He could hear the thud of combat boots echoing down the corridor, getting closer. He worked faster, his fingers a blur of motion. Sweat beaded on his forehead, tracing lines through the grime on his face. The final wire clicked into place. The massive locking bolts on the vault door began to retract with a deep, groaning sound. The sound was deafening, a dinner bell for the approaching Spetsnaz team. He slid the massive door open just enough to slip through and slam the emergency lockdown from the inside. He was in, but he was also trapped. The Ark was now his cage. Inside, rows of secure servers hummed, their blinking lights the only illumination in the cold, sterile room. He located the server bank where Chimera was stored, a ghost in the agency's own machine. His fingers flew across the holographic interface, slicing through layers of encryption he himself had written. As the file transfer progressed, a new voice cut through the comms. It was Colonel Petrov, patching directly into the Ark's internal address system. Mikhail, I know it's you. I know why you're here. Don't do this. You know what's in that file. Releasing it will destabilize the entire region. It will start a war. Mikhail didn't respond. His focus was on the progress bar, inching its way to completion. He thought of Elena's smile, of Anya's laughter. They were his region. They were his world. Suddenly, a high-pitched alarm blared. Red lights bathed the vault. Mikhail, I'm initiating the sanitation protocol. Petrov's voice was grim, heavy with regret. The system will flood the chamber with halon gas in 90 seconds. There's no override from in there. Give it up, son. It's over. The file transfer was at 90%. The hiss of gas began to fill the chamber. He could feel it in his lungs, a cold, chemical fire. His vision started to blur. 95%. His knees felt weak. He slumped against the server rack, his breath coming in ragged, shallow gasps. 98%. The faces of his wife and daughter swam before his eyes. Was this it? Would he die here, feet from the one thing that could save them? The transfer complete notification flashed green on the screen just as his world faded to black. The scene cuts. Mikhail lies on the floor, the data chip clutched in his hand. Outside the vault, Petrov's team prepares to breach the door. Miles away, in a dark, damp warehouse, Elena and Anya are bound to chairs, a live feed of the Lubyanka lockdown playing on a monitor in front of them. Dmitry Volkov watches the screen, a cruel smile playing on his lips, his finger hovering over the detonator of a bomb strapped to the chairs. The question hangs heavy in the air, a ticking clock counting down to an unknown fate. Will Mikhail escape the tomb of his own making? Will he reach his family in time? Or will the agency's desperate attempt to contain its secrets doom them all? The choice between one family and the stability of a nation rests on the shoulders of a ghost, a man with nothing left to lose. Like, share, and subscribe for more explosive action.